Good morning, students. Today we will start first chapter, that is atomic structure. What is the chapter name is atomic structure. So before entering into our chapter, the whole universe consists of two things. One is matter and second one is radiations. Okay, so the whole universe consists of two things. One is matter and the second one is radiation. And next, matter is made up of atoms. Okay, so atoms are further again made up of or consist of small particles which are called subatomic particles. So those are electrons, protons and neutrons. So number of subatomic particles are there, but we will discuss in our chapter mainly subatomic particles are electrons, protons, neutrons. Okay, so matter is made up of atoms and atoms are made up of electrons, protons, neutrons, mainly subatomic particles. So this is the information about matter, atoms and subatomic particles, which are electrons, protons, neutrons. Okay, so now we will discuss about history of atoms. Indian and Greek philosophers who were believed that atoms are fundamental particles of matter. Atoms are smallest particle or fundamental particles of matter. But there is no evidence to prove the atoms are building blocks of matter. There is no evidence. And he said, next one is the word of atom is derived from Greek word atomio. So atom is a word. It is derived from the atomio. It is a T. Atomio, which means uncuttable or non-divisible. Okay, so atom is derived from the Greek word, that is atomio. It is a Greek word. And word which means uncuttable or non-divisible. In 1808, John Dalton scientifically proved that atoms are building blocks of matter. He was scientifically proved that. And his atomic theory is also called Dalton's atomic theory. According to Dalton's atomic theory, atoms are building blocks of matter. What is the atoms are building blocks of matter, and atoms cannot be divided into further again. First one is atoms are fundamental particles of matter, as well as atoms cannot be divided further again. And Dalton also explained some laws, which are law of conservation of mass, law of constant proportion and law of multiple proportions. From these laws, we can conclude that atoms are building blocks of matter, as well as atoms cannot be divided further again. This is the information about Dalton's atomic theory. And Dalton can scientifically prove that atoms are building blocks of matter. But Dalton could not explain electrical nature of matter. He could not explain electrical nature of matter. For example, whenever we taken a glass that is rubbed with silk cloth, it is rubbed with silk cloth, what happened? Electricity will be generated. The glass rod having a positive charge, silk having a negative charge. So here electricity will be generated. That electrical nature of matter could not explained by the Dalton atomic theory. And this electrical nature of matter can explained by Michael Faraday. Michael Faraday. And Michael Faraday carried out some experiment on electrolysis of substances. From this we can conclude that atoms also further again divided into electrons, protons, neutrons, which are subatomic particles. So before Michael Faraday, or according to John Dalton, atoms cannot be divided into further again. But according to Michael Faraday, we can conclude that atoms also can be divided into subatomic particles, which are electrons, protons and neutrons. Okay, so from these experiments we can conclude that according to Michael Faraday, atoms also divided into subatomic particles, which are electrons, protons, neutrons. Okay, so this is the information about experimental, that is a John Dalton theory and the Michael Faraday experiments. It is electrolysis of substances. You will study in second year briefly. Okay, but from this experiment we can conclude that atoms also divided into subatomic particles, which are electrons, protons, neutrons. So now, discovery of electron. In 1879, William Crookes studied the conduction of electricity through the gases at low pressure. What is, first of all, in 1879, William Crookes studied the conduction of electricity through gases at low pressure. And after that, J.J. Thomson observed that when a gas is subjected to high voltage and low pressure, how much the pressure is? 0.01 mmHg. J.J. Thomson observed that when a gas is subjected to at high voltage and low pressure in cathode discharge tube, what happened? Certain rays are travel from cathode to anode. That rays are called cathode rays. which can ternarize electrons. Okay, so J.J. Thomson discover electrons. J.J. Thomson discovered electrons. So this tube is called cathode discharge tube. What is the name is cathode. So it is a cathode discharge tube. Cathode discharge tube. Cathode discharge tube is made up of glass. Is made up of glass with 2 electrodes. Cathode discharge tube is made up of glass having 2 electrodes. One is negative electrodes, which is called cathode. One is positive electrode. This is positive electrode, which is called anode. 2 electrodes are arranged in cathode discharge tube. Okay. And what happened at high voltage and low pressure? At high voltage and low pressure, what happened? Certain rays are traveled from cathode to anode. So this rays is nothing but traveling of electrons, flow of electrons here. So where to where they are traveled? Cathode to anode. That's why these rays are called cathode rays. And further again, cathode rays we called electrons. Okay, so electrons are discovered by J.J. Thomson by doing cathode discharge tube experiments. So this is the information about discovery of electrons. Further again, we conclude that if we use here instead of anode, we use perforated. Perforated means some holes are having anode electrode. Okay, so instead of anode we used perforated anode. What happened here? So these rays are travel or strike the wall of the cathode discharge tube. What happened here? A greenish color glow will be appeared. Whenever we use perforated means some holes are exist in anode electrode. So we use the perforated anode. What happened? These cathode rays are strike the glass of the cathode ray discharge tube. At this time, green colored glow will be appeared because these cathode rays are strike the fluorescent material. Here this glass wall is coated by fluorescent material, fluorescent or phosphorescent material. At this situation, what happened? A glow will be, green color glow will be appeared. So from this we can conclude that these rays are cathode rays. Okay, so here what happened? Like fluorescent material, we used zinc sulfide. Zinc sulfide act as a fluorescent or phosphorescent material. And what will be used here? Anode. Which anode? Perforated. Sorry, perforated anode. It is another Identify the cathode rays. It is another way whenever we use the perforated anode. So this is this information about discovery of electrons. Next one is properties of cathode rays. So first one is cathode rays are produced from cathode electrode. It is produced from cathode electrode and traveling towards anode. This is the first property. What is the property of first? Cathode rays are started from cathode electrode and travels toward the anode electrode. This is the first property. This is a traveling cathode to anode. And next one is when these cathode rays are strike the fluorescent material, they appeared as a green color, glowish. Okay, they glow is nothing but they glow. Whenever these cathode rays are strike the fluorescent or phosphorescent material, they glow. This is a second property. Whenever cathode rays are strike the fluorescent or phosphorescent material, they glow. And third one is in the absence of electrical or magnetical field. In the absence of electrical and magnetical field, they traveled in straight line. And the fourth one is in the presence of electric field. For example, it is a cathode ray. In the presence of, for example, here electric field will be applied. So these travel toward the positive electric plate of electric field. So that's why from this we can conclude that. So that means these electrons are attracted towards the positive electric plate. That's why cathode rays carrying negative charge. From this fourth property, whenever we applied the electric field, cathode rays are moving toward the positive plate of the electric field. So that's why we can conclude that cathode rays are carrying a negative charge. And the fifth property is cathode rays do not depend upon the nature of the electrode as well as using of the gas in the discharge tube. It does not depend. Using of gas or nature of the gas as well as the nature of the electrode. Cathode rays do not depend on the nature of the electrode and nature of the gas. So from this we can conclude that all atoms consist of electrons. All atoms consist of electrons. That is, it do not depend on the nature of the electrode as well as nature of the gas. Do not depend upon the nature of electrode and nature of gas. From this we can conclude that all atoms consist electrons. These are the properties of cathode rays. First one is these are traveling from cathode to anode. Second one is whenever these rays are strike the fluorescent material, they glow. And the third one is in the absence of electric and magnetic field. In the absence of electric and magnetic field, they travel in straight line. In the presence of electric field, they travel towards the positive plate of the electric field. So that's why from this we can conclude that electrons are cathode rays carrying negative charge. Finally, cathode rays do not depend on the nature of the electrode and nature of the gas. From this we can conclude that all atoms consist of electrons. Okay, so this is the information about discovery of electrons and the properties of cathode rays. Thank you.